Hey there, Fright Seekers. Welcome to Horrific Things. In this episode, I am with the Overlord, Evan Lain from Kings Island's Halloween Haunt in Mason, Ohio. Since my favorite amusement park is opening up this weekend, I thought I would do an episode to talk about my favorite part of Kings Island, Halloween Haunt. Stay tuned. This weekend, Saturday the 14th, 2018, my favorite amusement park is going to open up for the 2018 season. Now, that of course is Kings Island in Mason, Ohio. That's where I go pretty much anytime I get the chance. I'm a Gold Pass holder, and that's just what I do because I live in Ohio, and it's about 35, 40 minutes away from me. That's nothing to drive for all the the fun things you get to do there. So
yeah, it's worth it. Yeah.
It's definitely worth it. I agree. It's totally worth it. So back with me now is Evan Lain. He is, of course, the Overlord, the big scary guy, scary and hairy, sort of, And he's the big scary guy that stands on the bridge in Rivertown at Halloween Haunt. Now, of course, why are we talking about Halloween Haunt when it's only April? Well, that's because this is a horror show. If you didn't know, the show is called Horrific Things. So why would I be talking about Kings Island regular season? No, I want to talk about all the cool stuff that goes on at Haunt. Now, Kings Island, of course, is awesome all season long, but I thought I would share some of my memories from Halloween Haunt and show you some clips of some of the cool stuff that I've caught on video from past seasons. So, Evan.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Decent.
Decent. So, first of all, you were the Overlord.
I was.
And how was it? Was being the Overlord like the most awesome thing ever?
Yeah, it is the coolest thing in the world because you're like the ruler of everybody there, and
that's a good. That brings up a good point because I've always this has been my mental struggle here. Who is the guy? Is it the Undertaker or is it the Overlord? How does that work?
Before the Undertaker started doing his thing, it was originally the Overlord that would stand in front of the crowd and do the spiels and do the dialogues.
Yeah.
And when I left, my Undertaker took over there. In this current situation, you would say that the Undertaker currently has the rule of the park.
Mm-hmm.
And the Overlord is more of a godfather, of sort of like that top guy that doesn't do much anymore, but commands the same level of authority.
Gotcha.
So the Undertaker respects me, but we sort of have that partnership going on.
Gotcha. I always kind of thought of it as, he was sort of the mouthpiece for the Overlord.
That is very much what he is now.
That's pretty much what he is, yeah. So, and of course, Kings Island has the most amazing Undertaker of any of the Cedar Fair parks. Mike Rochester, the Undertaker, he is a great friend of mine and wonderful actor, great talent, and so...
Yeah, Mr. Homicidal Tendencies. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He and I and a half-pint brawlers. Good times.
Oh yeah, back in that day. So tell me some stories about the half-pint brawlers back when they used to have that. So
the half-pint brawlers were fantastic, and to be honest, I really wish that they'd come back at some point or other.
What were they for people that don't know?
Half-pint brawlers is a group of little people that wrestle and do crude and unusual stunts. They would take over the Fest House, and there'd be a little boxing arena in there. Mm-hmm. Well, it was technically standard size, but you know what I mean. But they were brutal in the most hilarious and best sort of ways. And my memories of the fact is Mike and I would be in the green room ring for the show to begin. We always had to check what chair we're sitting in because they would go and cut the backs of the legs of chairs so you'd sit down and fall over. Or you'd always have to make sure that you weren't at, arm level because they'd come up and put a staple in your forehead or something. It was just they were fantastic because it was just like you were always full of energy when you were hanging out with those guys.
So great performers, huh? And they probably did this throughout the whole night, right?
Yeah, I'm like they were at it 100% every single night. I know they go on tour in other places. Like maybe I should call them up, be like, "I'll overlorded your thing.
Yeah,
invite me out. I'll hang out with you guys."
Now, have you ever been through any of the attractions since you have worked there? Did you ever get to go through any of the attractions?
Like the mazes or the actual attractions?
Well, like the mazes.
I've had the opportunity to go through all of the mazes for every year that I've been there. Mm-hmm. It's sort of a mini challenge in a weird sort of way of the fact that I've been doing this long enough that nothing really scares me.
Yeah.
So in the effort of actually being able to scare me gets you kind of a little bit of a point.
Gotcha.
It's a well done, faithful minion, you know.
Yeah. So do you have do you have a favorite one or one that is kind of your favorite? I mean, my personal favorite. I actually have several favorites, but in fact, they're kind of all my favorites. But
yeah.
But because I really love. I'll be honest. I didn't miss a single night of Halloween Haunt last season. I even went to the Lewisburg Haunted Caves, which is like an hour and a half from Kings Island, and I was there right when they opened. And as soon as I got out of the cave, I was the first one in the cave. And as soon as we got out, I said, "Okay, we got to go to Kings Island now." And it's an hour and a half away. I know. Let's go. So and we got there, but I never missed a single night. Killmart is probably one of my favorites. I love Killmart. Of course, Wolfpack is awesome. And then Urgent Scare, that's a really good one. And Madame Fatale's Cavern of Terror.
She's cool.
I really like that.
That one's a pretty nifty experience. Even with the skeleton key, that one's pretty good.
Yeah. I really think that one somehow just has a lot of creep factor to it. I really think so. But what do you think if you had to pick just one? If you had to spend eternity roaming through one haunt at Kings Island, which one do you think you would pick?
I'll tell you my favorite, even though it's probably not what people would expect from me. Mm-hmm. But my favorite is Blackout.
Blackout.
And the reason why I like Blackout is because last year there were a couple times where I went through it. Once because it was raining outside, and once because I'm the Overlord and just wander off my own sometimes. But anyway, it's the fact that it's so easy to get lost in there that people jump just because I'm there, even though I'm in there with everybody else.
Yeah.
And just the setups that they have in there, and the fact that everyone's afraid of the dark. I'm like, there's nobody out there who can be 100% like, oh yeah, I'm perfectly comfortable walking into this pitch dark maze. Nope. Yeah. Nobody handles that well. It's like watching people come out of there is like a sign of relief on their face. Yeah. Like, but yeah, I would say Blackout would be generally my favorite experience. But then, the manor, it's gone now. But of haunts past, some of the mazes we've lost over the years were some pretty amazing experiences as well, though.
Yeah. Now, one of my favorite parts of haunt, of course, is the sliders. And I want to show everybody real quick a clip from when I took my best friend, Eric, to Halloween Haunt. And he scares super easy. And you've probably seen this clip before, maybe in another episode. Not of this show, but a different one that I do. But I'm going to show this. This was hilarious. He had somebody following him, and it was just terrifying him. Reminded him of his brother, if you knew Eric's brother is just big and creepy in general. But he was just really freaked out by this roamer. And so I eventually told Eric, I was like, look, the guy is gone, all right? He's gone, just forget about him. And what he didn't know is that I had talked to another roamer, one of the sliders, and set him up. And she was going to be waiting. And so take a look at this, and you'll see what happens.
That was highly entertaining.
It was, indeed. It was. Now, I did happen to catch a slider. Corinne. You know Corinne?
I do know Corinne.
I did catch a clip of her doing her thing there in Rivertown, right in your neck of the woods.
Yep.
And this was a pretty good one too. Maybe not quite as intense as the scare that you just saw, only because that was my best friend and I totally set him up. But take a look at this one. Actually slides and a girl falls down because she's so scared. This is pretty cool. Check this out. So that is part of my favorite things about Haunt, the sliders, and of course the mazes. It's all fun, and I really look forward to it this October. But you know where I'm going to be this weekend on Saturday? Where do you think I'll be?
Viking Fury.
How did you know? I mean, seriously.
It's my favorite. I just, you know.
Mine too. I love Viking Fury, you know. Honestly, I don't ride Diamondback and stuff like that. Just because, I don't know, I'm kind of a wimp, I guess. But I love Viking Fury, and I admit my favorite coaster is Adventure Express. But I really like Mystic Timbers too. So if you live local to Mason, Ohio, Cincinnati area, Ohio, or if you just feel like driving. I mean, people come there from Kentucky, West Virginia, Indiana, because Kings Island is just an awesome place to be. But what about somebody who wants to work at Halloween Haunt? What should they do? Do you think it'd be a good idea for them to sign up and maybe try to be one of the people who's part of the whole thing?
There's always room for more people to join in the haunt. They're always eager to accept new monsters and creatures and unusual, creepy things to join in their masquerade of death. So yes, it is something that should most definitely be kept an eye out for those upcoming auditions in September.
Awesome. Well, yeah, there you go. And I guess they can probably just go to Kings Island's website, or they have audition days, right?
They do have audition days. They'll probably have that on the company website. Awesome. But yeah, always looking forward to having some fresh meat.
Very good, very good. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, Horrific Things. Click the little bell down there so you get notifications and whatnot. And I will be at Kings Island this weekend.